Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Aaron B. And I got my co-host, Jeff. How's it going, Jeff?
It's great. It's great, man. Another good episode of Hard Knocks. Another great episode of Tacos and Touchdowns. Had a great episode of Jeff Needs Sports last night. Things are really kicking. Got a little mini vacation coming up. So yeah, you got me. You got me on a high note, man. Like this is as positive as I can be until the season starts and your Longhorns break my heart. But as of right now, I got 2 weeks left to roll in the glory of being a national champion, and everything's going right in the world. So I'm loving life right now.
I didn't know what to say that, but I'm glad that you get on a mini vacation for this football season. Basically takes our lives for until
you ain't lying
until February. I'm going on a mini vacation next week, so it's just kind of good to just get everything done out of the way before football season comes. And basically, our best friend is going to be the couch. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you're in the high school football, it is your Friday.
Absolutely. Like, again, we talk about it every week. You live in Texas, I live in Ohio. Like, definitely high school football is a big deal. But yeah, and then you got every other football, every other day of the week. I feel bad for baseball, man. They got to carve out a day. Baseball needs to steal a day, like Tuesday. I don't know. Baseball needs to steal a day.
Yeah, then, college football may try to be, they get a little greedy. They'll be like, oh, let's do Tuesday football, Kennesaw State versus some obscure college.
Shout out to Kennesaw State, man.
Yeah, shout out to them, though.
Really, really upcoming program. And see, we got sidetracked already. We haven't even started talking about the Buffalo Bills yet. And we're talking about Kennesaw State college football. That is what kind of football fans we are.
Yeah, that was my bet on the Kennesaw State, but
I love it. I would love to talk about that. Is what. So I've been betting the first week of college football for about a month now. Yeah, since the odds came out, like every day I'm just like put a little something in. And the Kennesaw State game, I'm telling you, like I got it like circled on, like, man, something's up with this Kennesaw State team. So shout out to Kennesaw State. You know what? I think we can get Kennesaw State on the show. Yeah, they're good. Like they upset somebody last year. I don't even remember, but it was big. Yeah, or they almost did. One of the two.
It was close, or they did win. I can't remember what school was, but it was a pretty good school.
Great name too, Kennesaw State.
Yeah, are they like the Owls or something?
You know what? I wish I knew. I'm not gonna lie. As I was just hyping them up, I don't know. But I'm so upset. I'm going while you're doing some of your intros and some of the hard work that a host has to do, I'm gonna find out Kennesaw State's mascot. That's how this goes. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, that's why it's great to be a guest. You let the host do that. Let the host, let him carry the water up the hill, and all you gotta do is pour it.
Yeah. Before we get on subjects. So, how many tabs when you do your show that you have open on your computer when you do these shows?
How many? Oh, so I try not to have a bunch just in case, like, the thing, but I've always got two screens going. Okay. Now, if I'm doing an in-season show, like I always have usually stats over here, usually college or pro reference, whatever I'm doing, or I'll have the games from the week. I have all of it brought up, on my left. And then my phone, I always have something going on with my phone. Every now and then, we get towards you're talking playoffs and stuff, I might have my iPad out, you know what I mean? But I also don't want to bring my network down too far and then mess up the show I'm doing. But yeah, it's like a command center sometimes.
Yeah, because I don't know anybody they're just going based off of memory. If you got memory like that, I'm jealous because I gotta have.
Yeah, always notes. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, because I got tabbed in old school notes right here. So, but get into the show. So, the beginning of the show, it was Coach McDermott was basically having this consistency speech. So he was talking about in high school that his head coach to get his players riled up. He threw a table, I think he said, out the window. And then they went to another game, and he didn't do the same thing, and he kind of brought it back to being consistency.
Yeah.
So,
I just want to say, we talked about this last week with the coach. Again, you and I predicted this. This is exactly the discussion we had about McDermott last week. opening speech, he comes out and proves us right. Everything he said, I don't know what your philosophy is on coaching and sports and all that, but mine is like when he said you can only throw a table out the window once, I'm like, exactly what I'm talking about. So my son, I know we're going down the rails here, but I know I always bring up my son, but like, he played football at a very good program, and his coach, one of the best coaches, literally probably I'm almost certainly going to the Hall of Fame in the state of Ohio for high school football coaches. Basically his philosophy was, because I was always asked Brendan, I was like, what happens like at halftime and stuff. And he was always like, man, coach is like, if you need a pep talk, we're already in trouble. You know what I mean? Like that's why we work so hard all week. That's why we have all the film sessions. That's why we have all the meetings. Like if I need to yell at you at halftime, like we're already in trouble. And when McDermott said that, it sent chills down, man. Because again, I like my coach for the Dolphins because he's got the same philosophy. He's like, you know what I mean? Like you're grown, like you're grown-ups, you're getting paid, you're professionals. I should, I can make a show of it. And we've had a couple coaches on this, like, Sala was one of them. We've had a couple coaches. We were wrong about Dan, though, man. We were wrong about Dan. Like he's a little bit of both. But I love the way McDermott's like, that only works once. Now we got 16 more games. I thought I sent chills down my spine. I was like, that's the kind of guy I want to play for. He's a cerebral guy. My note was McDermott is coming off so well, as a person and as a coach in this show. Like, and I don't think it's fake, and I don't think I'm wrong. And I'm like, boy, they hit it out of the park with this guy.
Yeah.
I know I was long-winded for a question you asked.
Oh no, you're good. When it comes to McDermott, you can see why he's been that coach for a while. I think he's been there for about 8 years. And then watching the show, you're like, okay, I can see why McDermott's had this job for sure, because he's, like you say, he's a cerebral mind. He's not going to be the rah-rah coach and try to make him hype to like, okay, we're grown men, we're going to do our job and everything. That's the type of coach you said it. And a little fun fact about McDermott, him and Mike Tomlin were college teammates back at William and Mary. So
there you go, man. Smaller, not the big name colleges, guys that wanted to be there, wanted to play, wanted to learn. And Tomlin's got that same quality of like, if I have to yell at you, you've already not done your part. Like so here's what I would say about players. They're getting paid to get past that part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all you should have to do with players at this level is give them the game plan. And it shouldn't be about footwork. It shouldn't be about weightlifting. It shouldn't be any of that stuff. Like that ought to be just built into like, that's how you got to this level. It ought to be about, this is a game plan. Like, I don't expect a player to know, like, here's the tendency of this cornerback on 3rd and 7. That's the stuff that a coach ought to do. If I have to tell you to want to win a game, to me, that's a failure. And that's what I like about this Buffalo Bills team. Another thing I like about McDermott, he knows exactly who his team is. He knows how good his team is. He knows what he's got in front of him. He's not playing it any other way. He's like, he's saying, we're a Super Bowl contender. We're not talking about how we're winning the AFC East. We're not talking about how we're getting to the playoffs. We're not talking about like all of these things. His thing is like, how are we finishing this and winning the championship? But he's not hiding from it. And he's not hiding from it on the camera. He's not giving us a bunch of BS. Like, man, I'm so glad that they accepted to do this show. And like you said before the show, give us an insight on a good, championship quality football team to see this is what it's made of. This is the stuff that a good team is made of.
Yeah, it's overall authentic team in general, down to the coaches, the assistant coaches as well, and the players. It has been authentic selves, because when you have like losing teams, sometimes the coaches kind of hype up themselves, and you're like, okay, this coach fully energized like that. But then if you ask one of the players, like, okay, coach wasn't like that. He was just doing it for the cameras. But when it comes to McDermott, that's him being his true self, showing what type of coach he was. He doesn't care if the camera's there. They want to, like you said, they're trying to get to the Super Bowl. Because they always, the past 5 years, they've been, 2 or 3 times almost to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always been the nagging cheese that's stopping them from getting there.
Yep.
Down to the wire. Like, literally down to like to the few seconds of the game, the Bills are this close from getting to the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point of the show, and that's why I think it's so good is that, and I'm sure that's going to come up. Like we're through training camp now, that everybody's going home. Like they're going to bring up, last season. They're going to talk about the elephants in the room and not just potential and not just, most of these shows are like, I think we got to change. Last year was all about like, can Caleb Williams be a quarterback and all this? The Bills are going to have to start addressing like, if the show's going to be entertaining, like how do we get past Mahomes? Like, there's no way that you can have a show about the Buffalo Bills and not talk about Patrick Mahomes, who is like, it would be like, a lot of the teams through the past not talking about Tom Brady. Like that's the standard. That's who we have to get past. That's who we have to take the belt from. All these things, it's got to come up at some point. They've got to ask the question.
absolutely. Getting into like they got into some new guys on the team. That one guy I wasn't too familiar of, but he's basically Buffalo through and through. They
Yeah.
call him Buffalo Joe Andressen. So basically, this guy seems like he's a Buffalo Bill lifer. Like I could see him on the Bills for like 8 or 10 years, being like a reserve linebacker, a special teams ace, or something like that on this team. He grew up a Buffalo Bills fan. I don't know if you remember the scene where he met Tequila Spikes when he was a little kid.
Oh no.
Yeah, in one of the scenes he was yelling and screaming at Tequila Spikes, and literally he told him, "Oh, come after practice, you and your family can come, and I can sign autographs and everything else like that." So he got to meet Tequila Spikes, and then
Oh man.
and the craziest thing, he ends up becoming an NFL linebacker, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought there's a few things about it. First of all, I could talk about Takeo Spikes for about 2 hours. What a great college and NFL player. Just a monster. Had a great look, like great player. Man, that's fun to just hear the name. And I thought that was a great scene they gave us because our nitpick last year, I won't even say it was a nitpick. I mean, our absolute criticism of the show last year was basically it was PG. That was our biggest. What were we? And this show is not. It's not like It's not like the old. The Jet shows were with Coach Ryan and stuff like that. But I love the moment when they're telling like what a great job by the cameramen, the producers, the directors, everybody involved. They're giving us the story about this. Buffalo Joe, the linebacker, and then he hits the running back, and the running back may or may not be hurt. And then the offensive lineman comes up and is like, what the F this and what the F that? And that's, and calls him out on it. And it was just such a real, this is the stuff that we watch Hard Knocks for. That was a real moment of one guy protecting his guy and the other guy just like, I'm trying to stand, like not trying to stay in the league, but I'm trying to like be a part of this league. And, and I think that, he kind of understood what he was saying, but then what a great moment for them to let us see, a natural moment between the players. I thought that again, I had it on my notes. Like just, that was one of the funnest things I've seen in a couple years of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, that's true. Because I felt like even in the Jets scene, they kind of took. I don't think they even had one of those scenes in that one.
No, nothing.
I think the last time I felt like it was when we watched the Lions.
The Lions, like again, go back a couple years ago, the Lions show was great.
Yeah.
Like no complaint. That was a great season.
Yeah, they basically could do a TED talk on how to do a Hard Knocks.
Yes,
so that was a really good one. But the Bills ain't too far when it comes to the season.
Oh, this is really good. Yeah. I enjoyed this entire episode. I was smiling through the whole episode.
Yeah, I agree. Next one is James Cook. He was the James Cook holdout. So what I admire from him, and I don't want to be talking about my Cowboys, but Michael Parsons, they're still at practice, even though they weren't getting contracts. They haven't got their contracts done, but Cook's in this contract done today. But he was in the team meetings and everything, being there with his teammates. Because sometimes you see players, their agents, they're like, okay, just don't be on training camp. But I'm like, no, be at training camp because once you sign that contract, and what if you got a new offense or you're a coach, you gotta learn the thing before the season starts, and then let's see. That's why we shouldn't sign him to the contract. But I was happy to see James Cook play. What
Yeah.
are your thoughts?
Yeah, I no, I totally agree. I thought it was cool that they let us see that. I don't love the business side of football, and that doesn't mean that I think I don't have any opinion. It's just that's not my thing. Is the business side of it. What James did, the way he played last year. I mean, James Cook, of course, outside of Josh Allen, really had a great season. Was the linchpin of the season and all that. And running backs do have a shelf life, and they got to get paid. I had no problem with it, and I thought it was pretty cool that they let us see some of the real talk again. Let us see some of the real insight. And a team this good with everything on the line doesn't have to let us do that. Doesn't have to let us, like, they could have just been like, because I've seen seasons before where they're like, so and so is not like, they're not on the show. So for Cook to be on the show and be a hold in, I thought it was honestly like just the inside information that they're letting us see. Now, did they probably knew that basically by the time the show came out, the contract's going to be signed? Like, I felt a little, I'm sure you did too, when you saw it go across the bottom line today. You're like, well, man, that was anticlimactic. But if anybody doesn't know, they're watching this, Cook did get the contract and he's back in and, and everything. So that took away. So whether they know that's going to happen when the show comes out, we don't know. And we don't care. But I thought it was cool that, and I thought James Cook came off pretty good. I like the guy. I think he's been a guy who has really turned himself into a really, really good football player, for the Bills. And that offense really isn't like set up for the running back. It's not it's more of a, obviously it's more of a passing sort of offense. It's not a true running game. It's not like the San Francisco 49ers. Like if James Cook plays for the San Francisco 49ers, he's probably got 1,700 yards. But I like what they do with him. I like how hard he works, and I'm glad he got his money. Again, he came off cool. Everybody on his team, man, just, we talk so much about the Eagles and their drafting and how they knock it out of the park on all these players. The Bills don't seem to have messed up that much. Like all these guys come off as like, well, except for one, and I bet I shouldn't say except for one, but there's a wild card, and I bet you're going to bring him up here in a little bit. But overall, these guys come off as like, man, great pick, good football player. I can see why your franchise is, going the right direction, as opposed to Miami Dolphins, who I think sometimes are just pulling names out of a hat.
Because I think the Dolphins, when it comes back to that, he's picking up like some of his old friends from the 49ers, his pickups. But the Bills, you brought up a good point. They've been doing good drafting, and they're picking up the free agency. And basically, Josh Allen has like a plethora of weapons when it comes to tight ends, wide receivers, and everything. And then James Cook's involved in the passing game as well. So yeah, it's basically a lot of passing, but they do run the ball effectively with James Cook. I like the way they utilize.
Oh yeah, they do it very well, but so much of it's based on the threat of Josh Allen, as opposed to not they do have a good offensive line and all that, but it's not. It's not the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? Like, it's Cook has to. He takes advantage of Allen being his quarterback, but it's he got they got his money.
Sure. Well, to the next one. It kind of connects with James Cook. So since James Cook went holding out, Ray Davis got an opportunity to play.
Yes,
and also got to play a little bit of kicker as well, because Tyler Bass went out, and apparently he played a little kicker back in high school. What do you think about Ray Davis?
Loved it. Loved the segment. That's what Hard Knocks is all about. We know that this guy isn't going to be the most famous player in the league. We know that he's not going to be a household name. Not that he's not a good player, but we understand this. Let him do the segment. Let him talk about kicking. That we got to know his personality. Again, another one of these Bills that couldn't be more likable. I love him talking a little smack about kicking the ball, and he is going to be their, backup kicker. It looks like. I loved how when they came up and they're like, "You're the starter," and he's like, "Whoa, hold up." So I like the respect he showed to Cook. I like the awareness. I thought he came off great. I thought he was a fun guy, good personality. Again, all these guys seem to have good perspective on it's a job, but they still are playing a sport, and they're having it seems like they're having a good time doing it, and they're all aware of the level of team that they have. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool segment. I thought they edited it good. Again, all smiles.
I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the most happiest town in like football team I've seen on nights.
It's insane.
I know their job and basically and they just look in the field like you see that to go to like even fans are just like and we'll get into how what I described Bill Mafia. Bill Mafia is actually a good thing. So don't come and try to jump in Texas, okay?
Okay.
I don't know problem, but not about good things about them. But I want to get into the coaches. They kind of have the same type of style, like Sean McDermott. They kind of are all on one accord when it comes to the way they coach. They're great at being teachers and everything. They're not raw guys, but they're gonna say what they want things and everything. But it's never like they're down in players or anything like that. They love being teaching the game, and they're not older coaches. They're all kind of like a young coaches, but they see the way they talk. They like they have like 50 years of experience.
Yeah. You're right. Again, we still haven't met, and I know we're only 2 weeks in. Kind of starting to run out of time though. Like we haven't met our assistant coach that we fell in love with yet. I think we got a little less than we did last week. But again, this is a team, and this is probably a situation. This is probably where we're taking a step back because it's such a good team that I would imagine some of the coaches are like, listen, I don't mind doing this, but I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. I ain't got time. You know what I mean? To be the superstar of your show, or maybe, again, I think they're just so focused and aware of who they are that it might come off as a little boring because they're probably just talking X's and O's. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure they're still going to dig into something, but I guess you got to make choices. There are only so many people you can have on. If you're going to have Ray Davis on, that's going to take away time from somebody. If you're going to have KJ Hamler on, that's going to take away time from somebody. Like maybe we're not going to get to know like the assistant coach like we did the Cleveland Browns that year, the guy that was barking and all these things. Like you just got to make a choice sometimes. And I don't know. I thought they've done a great job, but I do wish I had that assistant coach to really cling on to throughout the season. Like we got Aaron Glenn. I mean, that's my number one, like, man. And now look at him.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what he does with the Jets. It's not it is the Jets. I was trying to think.
Head coach of the Jets.
Okay, I was trying to
By the way, we called it. We called Aaron Glenn as the star of that team, and we were right. Another thing that we've been right about.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does for the Jets. Getting into, we already kind of brought him up. I'm going to jump the gun on one of my lists on here is KJ Hamler.
What's going on?
That guy's a fun. Every time he's on the screen, it just laughs. He's like the comic relief of the Bills. Like last week, I don't even think we brought it up about him and the scooter. He had like some little 8-year-old scooter because this is his first year with the Bills. Apparently, it's been a thing with them, and everybody has like the ones you can sit on and everything that they probably spent thousands of dollars. He got this one over at a Target.
Yeah, my man hadn't been on a team in 2 years.
Yeah,
like he might be running a little short.
It's true.
Here's what I say about KJ. He came off. He came off bad and good at the same time.
I agree.
He came off as like, I don't know if he's going to be on this team in September, but he also came off as like, I think he also understands that. And he had as much fun as he could have and riding the scooter around, and it's probably just his personality, and that's probably how he's wired. And, he's just one of these high energy guys. And I like the segment, but if I was a Buffalo Bills fan, I'd be, I don't know. He was the one that didn't feel like he blends in as much as the other players, but we don't know. That might be exactly what Josh Allen needs, is this little scat bat to, maybe he needs some energy and somebody talking or whatever. A good segment. I don't know if our last show we do, KJ's still going to be there.
And they got some other receivers. They actually got that chart. And he's kind of like in that fringe between that 6 or 7 receiver and that main easy force for another team.
AB, I hate to interrupt the show. You broke up a little bit. Try muting and unmuting again.
Okay.
Nah, still. It was perfect a second ago, and then after you came back from mute, now it's.
1 second. Let me see. I'm going to try to work the mic real quick.
Nah, I can't really make out what you're saying right now. A couple seconds ago, like after you came back from mute, it was great.
Oh, okay. Does it work now?
It is working now.
Okay, technology ain't my best friend.
No, I don't think it's you. I don't think it's you, man. I think it's you know what? I'm not gonna say anything bad. Anyway, you know what? I'm just gonna let it go.
Oh no,
anyway, I apologize. What were you saying? I hate to interrupt the show, everybody, but I couldn't hear my man.
Oh no, I just said that the Bills have a deep wide receiving core, and it's gonna be pretty. And he's kind of in that fringe between he may make it or he may not make it.
And if he sticks around, like he's got a chance of getting. They're gonna need somebody. They got a weird wide receiving core, by the way. They have they don't have what everybody calls like a true wide receiver one. They really don't. They've got some pretty good size. They got some pretty good intangible guys that do a lot of stuff, and a lot of but that is the one weakness that I would say as far as a team that has a great quarterback. If we take our top 5 to 6, 7 quarterbacks, they have the weirdest skill set around Josh Allen. It's like that's the one thing about this team that I would say it's really held him back, honestly. Diggs was really good when he's there, but when it came playoff time, and I don't know if size caught up with him or whatever, but kind of disappeared. Got the Bengals smothered him, a few years ago. I do think that they went and got Cooper last year from you guys, right? They picked up Cooper. It didn't really work out. He was never a difference maker. So I don't know what it is they need outside of like a true like Randy Moss type of guy. But I will say that, if we're talking about Hamler being on the team, to me, if you compare him to the other contenders, it's not that they have bad wide receivers, but there's something weird there.
Yeah, it's like they all have different traits, but none of them is like that true like X receiver. It's like you have like guys that can run pretty much the route tree and everything. You got shifty guys, but you don't have that one guy that has like has all the it factor. And I think that's what they're really missing. I can't really describe how the receiver are. It's just like it's deep, but they still need that big time receiver on it.
Yeah. It's like they got a really good one, but they're just it's the if you want to use cliches, the game breaker, the wide receiver one, the guy just to bail Josh Allen out. And Cooper, I really thought was going to be it last year, and he was kind of just apparently he was just kind of hit that wall that some guys hit at a certain age, and he just couldn't muster it up. Again, Diggs in the regular season was really good for Allen, but that didn't. Shakir is really good. He might be like maybe I'm wrong. They picked up the veteran from the Chargers, maybe. And again, I think if you need one touchdown, I think that these are like really physical. Like you said, great route runners, can do anything. I think you can get that touchdown. I just don't I don't know if you're trying to drag the cornerback one, if you're trying to drag Sauce Gardner away from, the middle of the field, like, I don't know if you have that guy. So it just makes it. The Chiefs didn't have a great defense last year, and they were still come up with a way to defend it. I guess there's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's true. That's one of the things about me is like they don't have anybody to take on one of these elite corners and everything that could take the top off.
Take the top off. There you go.
Yeah, that's what they're missing. But I like we said, they're a really good team. It's just maybe they'll prove us wrong this year, and maybe this could be the year.
And again, we're grading them on a championship team. You know what? Maybe they let Hamler ride his scooter. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they let him use his scooter on the field, and that's a difference maker. I hadn't thought about that.
That's true. Hamler, we may be thinking Hamler gonna not make the team. He ends up being a excellent scat back for this team. We never know.
Oh no, it's a long season, man. Like that's the one thing. None of these players are done. Like are definitely off, out of it. If they don't make the roster, that does not mean that they don't have a chance. Like it's the 17-game season is grueling. All these guys. Hamler is going to play in a Buffalo Bills uniform this year. That's what I would say, or another uniform.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy to think now there's 17 weeks in an NFL season now, and then including playoffs and Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Bills need to play 20 weeks. To be honest.
Wow. 20 weeks is a lot of physical football.
Right?
Man. Getting into going into Bills practice, the music at Bills practice was like gave me like Rocky vibes and everything. Like it was like 80s music.
That was good.
And you got to see authentic football. It wasn't like the cookie cutter stuff like with the Bears. It was just like back at the old school Hard Knocks practice type of thing.
Yes.
It was I enjoyed that part of it. It's just like it felt like you ain't seen it in years about these practices because it was Disney Plus last year.
I totally agree. I thought the editing, the choices on the music, the way they cut the scenes, smiling ear to ear, about it. And it's another one of those that's what us football dorks love. You know what I mean? We love actual football. I never tell any, like, I always try to explain this on my show, and this has always been my big thing. When I act like I see something that maybe somebody else didn't see when I'm watching football, it's not because I think that somebody can't see it. I just realize that most humans don't spend the ridiculous amount of time watching football like I do. So if you like I'm never telling anybody like, oh, I'm smarter than you. No, I just watch, just like anything else that somebody loves or does the most. The only reason I say that I see things that maybe somebody doesn't see is just because I watch so much. It's not that you can't see it. So like when I watch stuff like this, I'm like, I'm picking up on stuff, and things like that maybe somebody else, it's not that somebody else can't, they just don't care. And so that's why stuff like that is for us. I always want to be clear that I'm never insinuating that I'm outsmarting the room. It's not that at all. It's just that I care about it definitely more than I should. And then probably more than other people need to, but I love it. This is the stuff that's for us. And I just realized, speaking of stuff for us that they didn't do this week, did we get any wives or family?
No, we didn't get any of the family.
I don't think we got any, did we?
No, the only thing we really got close to family is when they brought up about Josh Allen being married to Haley Simon.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we didn't get any wives or anything like that this week. I guess they were taking a break from it because they had a lot of things.
And they're going home. They're going home. So I'd say in the next week or so we'll get that. And I mean, as a call, I don't want anybody to think that I said like it's a good thing. Like I enjoy that part of it because you get to see like what makes these players tick and what they play for. But when they're off the field, like we didn't get a ton of it was a good episode. I was just, now that you mentioned it, like there was no like off the field, there was no ice cream shop. moment.
Yeah,
Like there was in the first episode. So it was really football heavy episode. I suppose that's why we loved it so much.
that's true. In week one, we did get a good glance at like their families and everything.
Mm-hmm.
All the families came off likable. I hate to say it, the Bears family members, Eberflus. I know he's a DC.
Man, I can't talk.
But
I don't want to badmouth him. That was bad, dude.
Yeah, it didn't feel too authentic there. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to get.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He's the DC of the Cowboys now, so I can't be roasted.
Yeah, and again, things get filmed a certain way, portrayed. Maybe even a couple years ago. Remember we had the freaking the Hutchison family. Like we didn't need that.
Yeah,
we didn't need that.
Man, we see such things off there.
This was a football centric show. I thought it was kick ass.
Yeah, this is why I love this season so far. Is like it's been good football and everything, and it's not been cookie cutters, which is the best part about it.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great point.
So let me get into. Oh, okay, here's another one. One of the other deep rooms that we have on this is the quarterback room. Outside of Josh Allen, there's three other quarterbacks on this team: Trubisky, Mike White, and Shane Buechele. You know about Mike White?
I do. I know a little Mike White
about when he played for the Dolphins. So he's been a really good QB2 in the NFL.
That's a great point. He's a good backup quarterback.
So, and one of the things I loved about that quarterback room is they have fun and everything, and they pretty much they make jokingly jokes about Josh Allen. Pretty much when they had like this handshake, they said, "Oh hell, Josh Allen" or something like that. That was hilarious.
They know the deal. They know they got a good job. Yeah, that's funny when they talk about because it's it's also cool to see because obviously Trubisky, is taking it on the chin, and even when he got drafted, a lot of people thought it was a mistake, and it was, but he obviously is like, you can tell that he's like, I'm getting paid to play NFL football behind Josh Allen, the most durable good quarterback in the league by far. Like that's a good gig. And he understands that. So then you're like, yeah, that's a good point, Mitch. Like you got a way better job than I do just because you don't happen to be a great NFL quarterback. And Mike White, love the guy. You know what I mean? Just like total click and play, create a character. Mike White. It's like if you had to invent a fake football player on Madden, it'd be Mike White. Love it.
Yeah, that's pretty much you trying to think of a name. You're like, it's Mike White. Like, yep, that works.
I mean, it's so but I thought that was cool. I'm glad you brought that up. I totally forgot about we got a little bit of Mike White. Was he also the Jets? I think feels like he was awesome. He was one of those guys that went through the Jets when holy cow, when the kid was there that I don't even know if he's playing anymore. Remember him from BYU?
Oh, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, is he? You know what? He's probably still kicking it.
Yeah, he's somewhere around here.
He's somewhere, man. None of these guys do. If Mike White ain't disappeared, another one. Like, come on, this is another. Like I was telling the story today, and somebody was a friend of mine was like, "Man, if I had the perfect job ever, I'd be a Major League Baseball scout." He's like, "That's what I would do if I could do any job." And I was like, I always said, I just want to be the guy that is in the NFL draft room to stop these people from making mistakes. I'm like, I'm not saying like that like I'm perfect with evaluating talent, but I know when it's a mistake. And like Zach Wilson was one of those, like I'd have just been standing up, waving my hands, being like, whoa, what? No, stop, And so you bring up Zach Wilson, like I know I'm just totally shots fired at Zach Wilson. Another one, he's probably like, I don't know, I got $30 million in playing football, Jeff. You're like, and I get it, Zach, you're way better at football than I am. But that made me think that like, man, sometimes Trubisky's another one. You know what I mean? Like these guys that get overdrafted and then we're kind of stuck with them. But shout out to Zach Wilson, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Great headband. I don't know what else to say about Zach Wilson.
Hey, you got it from Jim McMahon.
All I know is somebody thought he was better than Justin Fields. I know Justin Fields isn't a great NFL quarterback, but I mean, come on.
But Justin Fields is still getting starting quarterback jobs. Yeah. So I'm just saying, Another guy I'm talking about has been overdrafted. It was Josh Rosen, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, whoa!
Remember that
Yeah,
one?
he like went back to school.
Yeah, I think he came from a wealthy family. I think
Yeah,
I
all
think he was a
right.
lawyer or a dentist or something like that.
Yeah, he went back to school, but like that's another one. Like, how does nobody stand up and say, "What are we doing here?" How did some like seriously? Let's talk about this. This is a guy that you near and dear to your heart in the state of Texas. There's a point, and there's a room full of people getting paid a lot of money to build NFL football teams, and somebody said, "Let's draft Johnny Manziel in the first round," and everybody was like, "All right," and nobody stood up and was like, "Stop that." There's not one person in that room that was like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of."
Yeah,
And somebody drafted Johnny Manziel in the first round of the NFL football.
And I'm from the same. I'm in the area where Johnny Manziel is from. He's like about an hour and a half from where I'm
that's what
from.
I figured.
So one of the things, and I was teammates with one of his teammates at in his high school.
Oh snap!
So the guy said Johnny Manziel was a big jerk back in high school and everything. And
that's what I mean. If AB's in the room, he's like, no, they could have paid you. How much money would they have saved? Like, they would have saved millions of dollars if they just have AB come into the room. If they just give AB a little quick text, like, "Hey man, should we draft Johnny?" You'd be like, "Nope." Okay, you just saved however many millions of dollars they paid him.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what? How does this happen?
And then you figure out, then 10 years later, they find out he wouldn't even do it. Was this freestyling out there on the football field?
What a clown! What a weird. How does that happen? Is that one of those? Can that happen again? Can there be a guy that like has the success that he did? There's nothing not taking away what he did. I mean, he did that at Texas A&M, and he did beat Alabama, one of the great games we've ever saw. He did all this stuff, but at the same time, everybody knew he was, for lack of a better term, a knucklehead.
Yeah.
And that he could never, there was no doubt in my mind he could never play NFL football, not a down. Can that ever happen again? A guy be that goofy, win the Heisman Trophy, and all these things, but also not be good enough to even get drafted? Do you think that's, or is that something with NIL and stuff? With NIL and stuff, he probably would have I don't know, would he have moved around? Like, does he still exist, or would it be worse?
Yeah, he would definitely break the bank. He'd figure something.
I think you're. Well, you know what? Wait a minute. I ask you the question. The kid that just went to Miami from Georgia is doing the same thing. I think a lot of us. I don't know how you feel about him, but I think a lot of us, a lot of people think that, hey, I don't think he's that great, and I think he's kind of. I don't know how much he's focused on actually football and what his NFL future is, and he got millions and he went to Miami. So I guess we're going to find out this year. There might be another Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm not really. I wasn't a fan because I seen what he did at Georgia. I wasn't seeing.
He was bad last year, dude.
I didn't see the wow factor. I remember they were saying, "Oh, he's a first round pick," and I watched a couple games and I didn't see it. I was like, "Okay, this is a guy that may be a UDFA guy or seventh round if you really like Georgia quarterbacks."
Yeah, and here's my thing. Try to get this back on track. We're talking about the Buffalo Bills. I don't know how you can watch Josh Allen play football and be like, "Oh yeah, also this kid's the same." I don't know how you if I watch Josh Allen play football and I'm drafting Kenny Pickett, I'm like, well, we're screwed. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I really just I promise I'm not being negative. There is nothing wrong with being really, really good at football and not being a great NFL quarterback. I'm just simply saying that maybe somebody needs to start speaking up. So I'm sorry. This all started with Mitch Trubisky. I apologize, Mitch. You did not deserve this. Seemed like a nice guy. Even he got a weird mustache. That's fine. He's got a weird mustache, man.
I get you. he literally looks the same since he's been in the league. He hasn't really
Yeah.
changed. Same mustache, same.
And he's my man. You know, Couch Coach Live. He's one of his guys. I apologize, Couch. I know he's one of your nephews, but Mitch and you know, maybe you're going to have better luck with Drake May. I think Drake May is going to be a better North Carolina quarterback. And that being said, there's like more North Carolina quarterbacks. Well, not now. There was more North Carolina quarterbacks in the league than Ohio State quarterbacks. So what do I know?
Yeah, that was crazy to think there were so many UNC quarterbacks in the
right. And none of them good. I'm just saying, ain't good.
Hopefully Drake May breaks the ball.
May might be good. The only thing I don't like about May is he might be an interception thrower. That's what I don't know yet. I don't know if he's going to throw interceptions because it feels like you can never cure that. I swear, I don't know if I've ever seen a player able to cure throwing the ball to the other team. Except Josh Allen, as we're talking about Josh Allen. So I'm wrong. Never mind.
I was about to say Josh
Drake
Allen.
May's the next Josh Allen. You heard it here.
I guarantee
Drake May's better than Josh Allen.
StreamYard's going to take that bid and make it into a short.
Yep,
I guarantee you.
Yep, you're right. Drake May is I got him ranked above Josh Allen.
Can't even say that out of serious face.
Talk about out of context. But so that's true. That's true. He could. We'll see. We'll see how this year goes. And I like Drake May. I do. I like he's. Yes, I think he's legit. Now that's a guy that I'm like, I would draft that guy. You know what I mean? Because sometimes here's the thing. Me and Stuart argue about it all the time. Sometimes you gotta be able to throw the football. Like sometimes it just boils down to like, it's easier to be a quarterback if you can throw the football really good. And we lose that sometime. And I know like we a big talk this week about Shedeur Sanders. Great preseason game and all that. But at some point, like you're going to have to be able to throw the football in Buffalo when it's snowing, 20-mile-an-hour wind. Josh Allen's going to be better at it than you are. Like that's what I mean. Like if you're trying to like Shedeur Sanders never going to be as good in December in Buffalo as Josh Allen is. So
Josh Allen likes to sling that ball, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it works terribly. But I like Shedeur. It just he kind of has his type of throwing is kind of like dinking and dunking type of style.
And again, that can work if you have the team built for it. Like it just quarterbacks like that. I've said it a million times. I'm not saying they can't. And believe me, I got one. I got Tua. You know what I mean? I got one of these guys. They just need so many things around them to be good. And it's the NFL. It's hard to have a great roster year in and year out if you have just a decent quarterback. Guess what the Bills don't have? Decent. They got great quarterback. And guess what they can do? Whatever they want. They can the Bills are like, I don't know. We just talked about it. We don't have any wide receivers. It don't matter. Josh Allen, just stick it in your face mask. Like an unnecessary roughness movie. You know what I'm saying?
This man
that's the difference.
Yeah, he can throw the ball and then he can run the ball like a running back at 6'5".
You know, I didn't realize he was graded the most efficient runner last year on design run plays in the entire NFL. He's the most effective runner in the entire NFL based on, stats. So man, he's good.
Yeah, you don't believe him. Yeah, and
I wish he could have played against Brady. Why couldn't Josh Allen be born 20 years earlier?
Oh,
we wouldn't have Brady, the situation we have. Brady might have won 2. Josh might have won 3. We wouldn't have Brady with 7 if Josh Allen played for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, the only thing I could say is blame Josh Allen's parents for having him early. That's the only thing I can think of.
It's funny. Brady's probably as old as Josh Allen's parents. So, what if Josh Allen is Tom Brady's kid and we don't even know it? Man, that's talk about your hot takes. Clip that one.
And they're both from California too, so that's.
Oh, you're right. Brady took a little trip to the country. He took a signing bonus from New England. Took a little drive to the country, and there we go. Man, I can't believe it. We figured this out. I mean, he was a little earlier than that. Brady's probably 45. Yeah, man, that's right. And he would have been in high school, but need some investigation into this.
Yeah, and Josh Allen was born in wine country. Apparently, I was kind of heard a bit a little bit that way.
Oh, we forgot about Josh Allen talking about his farm. That was awesome. Oh, I want to apologize to Josh Allen's parents. I know Tom Brady is not his parents. This is all jokes. Josh Allen's got great family. We assume everything's true. I do not really think that Tom Brady is Josh Allen's dad.
Please, StreamYard, don't take these out of context.
I won't be clear. I won't be clear. I don't want Josh Allen on my doorstep. All that was a joke.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, he was talking about his farm. That was cool. His ranch. He's like, oh, I got, what did he say? He had like 500 acres or something crazy like that.
He said 1,500. I was like, he said it so humbly too. He's like, yeah, we got 1,500.
Man, dude's balling. Married to a movie star. Josh Allen's kind of winning. He needs to win though. Speaking like, if he wins a Super Bowl, like that's it. Like he's on top.
That's basically all he needs is right at this point. So he's got the land.
Yeah.
He's got the wife.
But he has to go through Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
I know this isn't a Buffalo Bills podcast, but it's fair to ask. Does Josh Allen needs to go through Mahomes, right, to win it?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't count if he doesn't beat Mahomes.
Yeah, if it's like one of those bad years for the Chiefs and he beats some other team, it just don't feel the same way if he
or if Mahomes is hurt or something stupid like that. Like he's got to go through Mahomes.
Yeah, he's got to get through the boogeyman for it like to be more effective.
Yeah, because he beat Jackson last year straight up, which again, Jackson played good enough to win that game. It is what it is. But I think Josh Allen has to go through Mahomes, just like Manning had to go through Brady.
Yeah.
Like Manning had to beat Brady to win the Super Bowl where it just didn't count. And he did. It was great.
Yeah, and he got two of them, so that's the best part when it comes to Peyton Manning. At least two different teams too.
Yeah.
So going back to it almost came
go back to the show that we were doing.
So now I forget about the show because we had a great conversation. But before we get into the Bills Mafia thing, I want to talk about Damar Hamlin and his perspective on life after that accident. It was 2 years ago or last year.
Let me see. So it's just 2 years ago.
I feel like it was last year.
Last year he played. Like last year he was back and played. So it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. In this show, we've seen a lot his leadership with the younger players on the team and everything, and just his perspective on life. He's writing a book and he's got other things going on, and then even his mom brought up that, hey, you need to kind of take figure out just not doing so much things at one time, because he was saying that he runs at like 90 miles per hour every day and everything. So it's good to see that, like seeing outside of these players of what are they doing outside the field just to get their mind right, because this sport is physically and mentally a toll on your body and your mental. So it's good to see that scene and everything. What do you think about it?
No, I thought it was great. We knew it was coming. I mean, the Hamlin story is, one of the true, I don't know I don't know what you say, lack of a better term, one of the miracles in the NFL, just a truly historic moment. They had to address it. They had to talk about it. And not only did he literally survive, that he went through, he come back and he's turned himself into a starter and he's turned himself into a leader on the team. But I love what he does practically about promoting a safety and first responders and things like that, and education. I like when players I think it, like, he obviously addresses the spiritual side of it and how he feels about that and how important it is to him, but he also addresses the practical side of it as far as like also just know how to use your defibrillators and things like that. I was, again, credit to the show. We were having a fun, raucous show, and they brought it to reality for a minute and let Hamlin have his 5 minutes little showcase there. And not that he asked for it or anything, but I thought that was cool. Really enjoyed it. There's no way you cannot root for the guy. Like, I might root for his team to lose, but there's no way you cannot root for an individual like that. So obviously it was cool, and it brought it to reality for a minute, but I don't think it was, since it's such a real thing that happened, and since they are trying to educate, and things like that, it really promote safety and first aid and things like that. I thought it was worth it, and I was glad they finally did it. And I'm not saying I wanted to get it out of the way. It's just such a real moment that it's hard for that to be entertainment because it's such a serious subject. So I'm glad they used it, and Hamlin used it in a way to, uh, talk to people, educate people, whatever you want to say. That was cool.
Yeah, overall bringing awareness of like things
Yeah,
could happen like that and everything, and just they brought the spiritual side and everything, and it's just having and some people wouldn't handle it the same way as Hamlin does. He because there's been people that dealt with serious things like
sure,
that,
sure.
and it could break somebody, but it seemed like it built him as a person, being aware like this life is short. Let me take advantage of while I still have the chance, and
Yes,
that's definitely what. It's good that we had the fun part, but it's good that we've seen there's like life lessons as well in the show, but it's not like force fed to us. But
right. Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't preaching to us or anything, and we got to know him a little bit, which I mean, honestly, he's kind of earned. I think he's handled. When I say handled, he didn't obviously did not ask for any of this attention. It was a freak accident that happened on a football field. But the attention came because it happened on a national stage during a, actual NFL game. And so I think the way I'll say dealt with it and turned it into a positive. All credit to him, and he like I say, he earned that. He earned the recognition in the spot and his time to, discuss his everything, and that's probably a discussion he has every day. I mean, that is something. It is one of the rare things that we've ever seen in sports that night. I'll never forget, thinking like, you know, that night when that happened against the Bengals, being like, nothing has ever mattered less than sports right now. And then for him to be back and playing, and I love how he, again, I'm big, big on promoting like, first aid and things like that, and the use of these things. I mean, I grew up through the Hank Gathers died because they didn't have the technology that we have available now, and so I like to see that keep me. And I'm sure it's already happened, but as long as DeMar Hamlin helps save one, if it saves one more person than it ever would have because of what he's done, then it was worth it. And I know it's going to be way more than that, but even saving one extra person, everything he's done has been worth it, since the accident.
Yeah, and it was awesome that he like paid for all these. Like I know probably more to his foundation and everything, getting all those AEDs because that's important for. I think
Yeah,
I believe everybody should take a first aid class. And I
absolutely.
don't
Yeah.
I don't I don't care what field you're in because
Yep.
it could definitely save somebody's life. It's better.
Absolutely. Learn how to get familiar. Just be familiar with the ADD. If you don't do anything else, wherever you if you're listening to this or watching this, and you work in basically if you work in a building, there is probably one somewhere in that building. If you don't do anything else, and if you don't want to take first aid class, I would say just find out where they're at, just so you know. Even if somebody's like, "Where's it at?" and they ask you, if you can say where it's at, you might have saved a life. You don't even have to. You don't have to know how to use it. You don't know how to do CPR. You don't have to do any of that. If you just might know where it's at in the building, if you're in a school, there's definitely one. In most public buildings, almost everywhere, if you just know where it's at, and in case somebody asks, you might save a life. That's all I would ask is just is at the bottom level. You know what I mean? Be familiar with where they might be in your location that you're at on a regular basis. As simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And if you want to learn class, most of the time they do it for free and
Yeah.
everything. You just take 3 to 4 hours out of your Saturday or Friday, whenever they have it, and they'll teach you everything you need to learn.
Yep.
Right? So basically, this show is basically saying you should learn your first aid and AED.
Absolutely. And wear
or know it.
sunscreen.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Wear your sunscreen. I don't care if you don't think you won't get burned. You got to wear your sunscreen.
That's exactly right, AB. Yeah, it don't matter if you look like AB. It don't matter if you look like Jeff. The sun still affects you. Just wear your sunscreen. It's something simple you can do. You know what I mean? Wear your hats. Wear your shirts. Everything you can do. Just one less. Don't create obstacles for yourself by thinking that you don't need sunscreen or against it or whatever. You'll still tan. You still have beautiful skin like me and AB, and you can still wear sunscreen.
Yeah, like they got the spray one. If you don't like the ones that smell, they got all types of sunscreen.
Yeah, they got oil free. They got it all. They get the reef friendly stuff if you're going on vacation, or maybe probably down where you live. You need a little more reef friendly stuff. You're a little closer to the oceans.
Yeah,
but do what you can.
Yeah, that's so basically the show. We had the fun, and we're bringing awareness to skin and AED. So we're gonna get to the fun part now, and like I brought up the Bills Mafia.
Oh,
so this is my comparisons that I got together with the Bills Mafia fans, because they went deep into them. Some were so passionate about Bills fans, like this lady was tearing up about talking about the Bills. But
it was a great segment.
So this is no disrespect to Bills Mafia. I worked with this shows with everyone. Shout out to Z-Bot. They're fun guy. They're fun people and nice people that I've met as fan base. But this is my mixture. They're a mixture of the Hardy Boys and like your fun frat boys at a frat party. That's basically the Bills Mafia in a nutshell.
Yeah. They definitely, there's definitely a type, but I'm just like, yeah, that's probably the demographics in Buffalo. Like no judging, like you whoever lives there lives there. It again, as someone who is an Ohio State fan, I'm never going to judge how seriously that they take their football team and how much they care. I thought that was a great segment. Yeah. And as a Dolphins fan, I'm like, okay. I don't know how we can ever get past that. I don't know, as much as I like the Dolphins, I ain't at the level that these people are. The jumping through the tables thing, I don't get it. And for all these years, I don't know if we knew they existed, but I think they've always been up there. I don't think I had any idea that all these crazy people lived in Buffalo rooting for this team. That was really something, but the way they edited the segment was great. And I did think they conveyed the message, especially if you're someone like, you're a passionate sports fan. I'm a passionate sports fan. We have teams that we truly, truly love, on a daily basis. So, but if you're watching the show as a casual and you just you like a team, like maybe you're a Chargers fan. I don't know how many Chargers fans would cry talking about their team or whatever. But I thought they did a good job of conveying whether you think it's when I say you, the universal you, whether you think it's crazy or not, or irrational or not, or you need perspective, it doesn't matter. That is how people like us live and view our teams. And that's how much we care. And all those people are as serious as can be about everything they told you about their team. And I thought that really came off as I get you. I get you as a Buckeye fan. I totally get you, Buffalo crazy people. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I would never say it's just a game. It's not just a game. We get that. We just talked about DeMar Hamlin. We understand the difference between the game and life. We're talking about just the sports part of it. It is not just a game. It's everything to them and us or whoever you root for. And so I really appreciated that they did that, and that's how they feel about their team. And boy, they're going to be disappointed if they don't win a Super Bowl. Oof.
Yeah, it's basically that was a homage to all Bills fans in that scene, showing all the things of how passionate about this team.
Yeah.
Are Ohio State fans anywhere near that passionate about the Buckeyes?
Yes.
Are they jumping through tables?
No, we're not that. We don't react like that, but we're not. It is funny. Buckeye fans aren't demonstrative like that. But here's the thing about Buckeye fans is whether accidental or on purpose, we discuss the Buckeyes 365 days a year. There's never a day to where you don't have a conversation about the Buckeyes. I don't care whether it's the middle of May, the middle of November. It is a constant discussion. And if you bring it up, if you say you ask somebody my age about the Buckeyes, well, we're going to go on for 2 hours about the games we didn't win or the old games we did win or players. It is just basically it's just this constant. It's constantly with you. So but as far as the raucous part of it, no, I won't say we're more negative, but we're just a more tense bunch. Like we're always just like already, we just won the greatest national championship run that anybody's ever seen. And it's the middle of August and we're already like, who's going to be the quarterback? We got to win these games. Can we win back to back? Like it wears on people from outsiders. They think we're nuts and they think we don't appreciate what we have, but it's just this constant, like, it's never good enough. So I would say that's how I would describe Buckeyes fans. But we enjoy the wins. We enjoy the championships, but we never settle. It's never good enough. It's never enough. So that's probably our biggest negative. If you're around us, like, that's the biggest thing that Buckeye fans get is like, holy crap. Like, you guys only lose 1 or 2 games a year for the last 20 some years. And yet all you do is complain. That's our thing. It's just the constant strive to win the championship. And then in things like that. So that's our thing.
So basically, I got y'all have high expectations, but y'all
yes,
have really talented teams. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you're right. There you go. It's the expectations every year is to win a national championship. That's it.
Yeah, I think if you root for a winning program, I think that's always.
Yeah, there you go. I think there's probably a lot of them like that. But like when I went to Tennessee, they're much more laid back, enjoy their team, have a great time at the game. We're a very tense bunch. Like, it's always like it's hard to explain unless you're just like in it. It's a lot of anxiety, but we enjoy when we hit the mountaintop so much, and it lasts forever. Like, but also, like, the other side of it is like, for instance, Will Howard wins the national championship last year. That guy's a legend in Buckeyes forever. Like, they get stamped. They get stamped forever. They're forever a Buckeye or something. So it goes when you win, the upside is really the upside. But yeah, as far as the tables and stuff, I'm not saying like the frat kids and stuff don't do that, but as far as your general fan, we're not near that raucous. Drink a lot of beer, play a lot of cornhole, but nothing like that.
So basically, I don't know how you feel about this. Longhorns and Ohio State fans are kind of similar, but
yes, they're very similar. It's kind of been like that for a while. Even like if you take the size of the programs, the size of the colleges, like they're very, very similar. Yes, and as far as the fans and all that, the only problem, like it's like, again, I mean I remember the 2005 game, and like that's one of the great games in Ohio Stadium history. When Vince Young came up and won it at the last second. And then, then of course we had lost the Fiesta Bowl on the last play to Colt McCoy. That one stung. And then of course, last year we win the big one in the playoffs. So this one coming up, it's a weird, like, rivalry that they don't play a lot. Yeah, but you're exactly right.
Yeah, it's definitely been a fun game, and it's a week 1 game for less than 2 weeks.
Insane. It's insane that's week 1.
Yeah, they starting college football pretty crazy.
August. Texas and Iowa State are playing in August. Like, think about that. What are we doing? It's awesome.
October.
I'm anxious as can be, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm the same. And I think it's gonna really, really hit me when it's like that game week, and I'm like, we're really about to play Ohio State the first week.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's a noon game because of Fox.
Yeah,
Ohio State we play a lot more noon games than I think Texas does. I think Texas plays more like 3:30. Probably.
Yeah.
Ohio State historically has been like a noon program. That's changed over the years. That's a huge debate here in Ohio of like Fox has this on all these noon games, and we're like, everybody else is playing at 8:00 at night. I personally love noon games, but that's just me because of I want to get it over with. Essentially,
right.
But that doesn't. I see what people are saying about, like, they want because then if you go back and watch the Tennessee game in the playoffs, you're like, that's what Ohio Stadium can look like at night, and that's the energy. So it is kind of weird. Like the 2005 game was at night, and that was just a gorgeous game. So, but it is what it is. This one's being played at noon. Big Ten kickoff, kicking off the season. And again, one of those teams is going to start 0-1. That's insane that these two teams, one of them is going to be 0-1 to start the season.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. I'm glad it's a noon game too, because I'd rather not be on my nerves be high and it's an 8 o'clock game at night. I'm like, get that to LSU or something. LSU and the Tennessee teams, get that to 8 o'clock games. That's
I kind of see. There you go. The fans are the exact same. Like, let's get this thing going and get it over. Now, here's what's funny. I got a lot on the line here because for years I've said, because the only games that the Ohio State ever really slipped up in were these weird night games where they play like Purdue or Michigan State, and they would slip up in these weird night games, and the other team would be so revved up, and we couldn't match the energy, and we would lose, and we'd be like, what happened? And again, Ohio State doesn't lose a lot. So I've said for years, well, that's fine, but nobody's beating Ohio State at home at noon. And then now I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know Texas was going to go. I didn't know it was going to be Texas. So I've got a lot on the line for years of running my mouth saying that, like, if we play at noon, nobody's winning. And of course, that was back when we didn't lose to Michigan. We always play them at noon. So things have changed. So we're going to see how right I am if I'm right about this.
We got a comment from my guy Rudy. Living in Ohio for 2 years, we drove to Columbus, seeing the horseshoe in person. Pretty damn amazing.
It's pretty cool. It is.
I want to get out there.
It is a really nice stadium because it was built, like I say, it's not just built like for the game, but there's actually room to move around the stadium. It's big. As far as like you're not crowded on the field. Like we went to Tennessee last year, and it's a little more straight up and down to where you're kind of hovering over the field. High Stadium's really not like. But what's surprising about a high stadium that people don't know is that there's about 105,000 seats max or whatever. There really aren't a ton of bad seats. Like it's amazing, like as big as it comes up, the way it's stacked over top of each other, like the difference between like the first level and the second level really isn't like the seats. You can actually see the game a lot better than that would be the one thing. And I think people don't know is you can see the game better than you think, considering there's 100,000 people there. It's a better viewing experience than people realize.
So even if you have like nosebleed seats, it's
really not bad because it's kind of steep and it's like I say, it's stacked over the field. So it's honestly like a really good place to watch a game.
Because most of the time when you go to like Texas or like even at OU, they're all like way up here, and it's just like it's mountaintop stack.
Yeah, and again, I mean, obviously you're far away, but it's like I say, as far as that big of a stadium, it's a little better viewing. And then the good seats are really good. It's a better viewing experience than I think people would think out of 100-year-old stadium that holds 100,000 people. It really is pretty cool. Most people that go there think it's cool. I'll be honest with you. Like you don't get and it's from the outside, and then you got the pageantry and the band, like, it's Ohio State football. Like, what I'm saying? Like you get it.
Yeah. Ohio State, going to an Ohio State game, that's definitely on my bucket list. Going to LSU game too. And another.
Me too.
So
I need to get to LSU.
I just want to go there.
And that stuff's different. That's where you get into like the difference in the fans and the rabidness and the craziness. I'm never going to tell anybody they're wrong about that. I promise you the crowd at LSU is way crazier than any Ohio State crowd. Like it's we're not the same. And I mean, as a compliment to LSU, like we don't handle things the same. So I need to get down there and see that in person. I need to see all them crazy bastards in person.
Hey, they got a legit tiger there.
Yeah, right. We got Buckeyes, but it's just a nut. So like, there's not much to see.
And we got a Longhorn, but they pretty much have him.
Oh yeah, Bevo's cool, man.
Yeah, unless Uga comes in.
Yeah, right.
But most of the time, Bevo's laid back, just chilling.
And they play this year, right? Yeah, Texas, Georgia played this year, I believe.
Yeah, we played them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They played last year. That was when Georgia. What happened? That was when Georgia had the best defensive game I've ever seen.
Man, Jalen Walker looked like
that was insane, wasn't it?
That game.
That was Ewer's worst game.
Yeah, and I think Banks out that game, or one of our offensive linemen was out.
It was a mismatch, but Georgia was revved up that night. I forgot about that game. It didn't want to matter. And I mean, you guys, made the playoffs, but
Yeah, that defense was on all cylinders. I was like, dang. I was watching that game. We can't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes that just happens. Like the landslide starts, and you're like, well, you can't stop it. Nobody knows why that happens. Like you can't stop it. Like we're all watching that game. Like it just, if a team gets into that mode, like, you know,
that's basically just how that happened. It was like that team was ready to play that week, and we had injuries and stuff. Not saying as an excuse, but Georgia was fully prepared for that game for sure.
Man, they were wound up. Their offense barely had to play.
Yeah, that's why you didn't really even think about Carson Beck that game. Like the defense was doing their job.
Yeah.
But look at us. We went on a college football rabbit hole.
The national champions lost to an average Michigan team. Like things happen.
Yeah. Man, but next week we're going to be back with episode 3. But episode 1 and 2 have been really good.
Really good.
Far. So hopefully they can continue just to keep up the great content when it comes to the show, and just even find little bits and stuff added in there. It's been a really good show. It's been fun to talk about Hard Knocks. Last year we kind of had to force feed ourselves to say, "Oh, that's kind of nice. That's terrible." But this one, you're excited about it. Like you said, it brings a smile to your face when you watch it.
Yep.
I appreciate you, Rudy, for coming by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Because we enjoy people coming by, just saying something like any positive words or any they want to get some points across like that. Yeah, this is what the show's for.
Yeah, everybody listens, likes. It's cool, man. That's why we do this.
Yes, sir. But we'll be back next Wednesday. Next Wednesday to talk about episode 3, and then week 4 we're gonna be having college football.
Yeah. I'm gonna trick AB into some more football. Yeah, week 4 is gonna be crazy, dude.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking a little bit of we gotta talk about some Ohio State and Texas game for sure. That would be terrible us not to talk about it.
It's happening.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. So be on the lookout for week 4 of I said week 4. I'm ready for football already. Episode 4 of Hard Knocks is going to be / Ohio State versus Texas. So stay tuned for that for sure. But this has been Hard Knocks with Jeff and AB. Oh, before I let you go, Jeff, was anything you got going on?
Oh, yeah. Just check out Jeff Needs Sports. Just did a great show last night with Coach Mo Murphy. We did a pressure cooker show, basically just rated took some teams and players and rated, the level of pressure we're going to be under the season. Anybody would go check it out, review. You guys know what it is. We've been in the business this long, you know what the deal is. So, that was really cool. And again, thanks, AB, for doing this. This has been a blast. I can't wait for next week. Can't wait for week 4. It's great.
Yeah. College football is upon us, and NFL is next too. So, man, football is back, and it's Christmas with us. So it's
wonderful because we haven't lost yet. We're both undefeated.
Yeah, we still got smiles on our face.
2 more weeks.
Week 17 of NFL might be a little different. The smiles may be forced, but right now there's joy in these smiles.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. This has been Tacos and Touchdowns. Y'all have a good one. Peace.